back earlier in the week. Does that show that you feel you've got enough in your squad with what you've got here still?
It shows I didn't need them. I don't think we got enough in our squad, and it's been lovely to have had a full squad that was giving it a right go and giving it showing that they wanted to be made available, if you like. And I just felt that I wasn't going to be using them for one reason or another. Sometimes supporters have to trust the manager till the season's over that he's making the right decisions for the right reasons, because you can't always sort of go public. But I just didn't feel the three that went back I would be using. So to be fair to everyone, including the people that are here, I said that we didn't need them.
And does that also give a clue that there might be one or two of the injured players coming back into contention?
No, not really. It doesn't give you a clue from that side. It gives you a clue from the other side. I mean, we when I first came in, I think it was about 3 or 4 days, I asked all the lads to sign a sheet of paper that you may have seen up there, because I see you all sneakily having a look up there at my note, to say that they promised that they will give everything to keep Cheltenham Town in the Football League. And they all signed it. Some signed it and meant it, and some signed it and didn't mean it. So, that's where you have to, when you come to this stage of the season, you need everyone that's going to give everything, or as many as you can, for the cause. That's what I've had to do. And so, if they're not up for the fight or the cause, then of course, you've also got to have teammates that you can rely on. So the lads that are here need to know that they can rely on some of the others, and if they can't rely on some, then you have to move them on, sort of thing. So there's lots of little bits and pieces. I've told you enough now, so I'm going to have to shoot you in a minute. Listen, when I write my book on Cheltenham Town, it will be revealed.
Excellent. Look forward to that publication. I mean, you talk about trust there. Does confidence almost come from being able to trust each other?
It does, because that confidence comes knowing that your mate's going to be there when you need him. If you've misplaced a pass, your mate's got to be able to try and get you out of trouble and work very hard to get that ball back. The team's got to work hard to get that ball back. If somebody's hit you a bad cross, you can't walk away shaking your head. You've got to say, unlucky, I'll be there for the next one when you do put it in. So that trust in your teammates and that trust in your training. I mean, I swear to you, I've put every single idea, motivation, every single session that I thought would help them into the last 4 or 5 weeks. And so they can trust their training. I'm hoping now they can trust some of their teammates. Now, that doesn't mean to say necessarily got the quality, but what it means is you've got the mentality to go into a game to try and win it. It's like a war game. I've always said it. You've got to be able to trust the fellow with a gun behind you that he ain't going to trip over for a lack of fitness and accidentally pull the trigger and you've gone. You know what I mean? So if that sort of answers the question.
And I suppose it also needs bravery to make the right decisions at the right time.
Correct. That's exactly what it is. You've got to have that quality in the first place, to have the bravery to make the right decisions, but we have to make sure that the lads are nice and comfortable in their shape out of possession, and we've been really working hard on that. But also, they've got to be comfortable in knowing the options, so that everybody is a step ahead. If they know the pattern of the team and they've got the ability to play that pattern, then you can be 5 yards ahead, 2 yards ahead of the opposition if you're reading it before they do, if you know what I mean. So there's been myself, Russ and the staff, we've been really putting in a lot of work to try and get the team into that frame of mind and that way of playing, that they're all of one some of the time. And we're trying to get it to most of the time.
And obviously you brought the players back in on Sunday for training after the Northampton game. Have you had the response that you were looking for after that?
We always get the response from the ones that you can rely on. they're as disappointed as you, the supporters, the board, when they get beat, especially if it's a namby-pamby performance like I believe it was at Northampton and Wickham. I mean, Cambridge in between that gave us all that hope that there is a game in them. And we need that as quickly as we can, of course.
Shrewsbury going for promotion. Is there any way in which that can work to your advantage if perhaps they get a bit edgy?
Well, if they get edgy, it'll work into our favour. But they haven't been edgy all through the season. That's why they're up there. And they're a good side. They've got good experience. They've got a good mixture, a bit of quality in their young players that they've brought in, quality in their older players that they've brought in. Let's not forget that they've spent a few bob as well, and they look a team that will be able to handle the First Division. In a one-off game, as you've seen in FA Cup games, always the underdog has a chance, always. And the underdog has that chance if he shows that commitment and desire to make sure that their quality doesn't win the day, that your bits of quality come out that win the game, but it's your enthusiasm and your desire and commitment to win the game will basically get you the result.
Do you look at the game and thinking, right, we need to win, or we need a draw, we need to take it to next week, or do you just sort of go in there looking for the performance and then everything else sort of will take care of itself?
Yeah, you're looking for the performance. It's spot on. That's exactly what you've got to do. But then there could be a million scenarios throughout the game. It's not the last game of the season, so there's more scenarios sort of thing with the second last game, because it could be that Tranmere are winning and Hartlepool are losing, or Hartlepool winning, and there's so many scenarios. But we've got to be aware of all them, and we will be aware of all them on the bench, because Shrewsbury will be aware as well that if they win the game, they're definitely promoted. If they draw the game, then they're as good as promoted. So we'll know tactically what we've got to do come the last half an hour or whatever it is, and sometimes you have to go for it a little bit if you find that you've got to go and win the game. That's how we've got to start. We've got to start as if we're going to go and win the game, and then worry about all the scenarios after, because it's going to go to the last game of the season unless Hartlepool win and we lose.
I suppose that's the nightmare scenario, which is the ultimate one you try and avoid.
Of course, that's desperate. That should be the motivation to our lads. That we don't want to be getting relegated anyway. But the motivation is you don't want Shrewsbury having a party on your patch.
Since you brought the youngsters back in, off from their loan spells, have they made a difference around the place?
They have made a difference around the place, and that's a really good point. There's some good players here coming through the academy. That's especially at that, you've got your Barry Williams and your James Bowens and your Bobby Dowles, and there's those three for me are pretty close, and they're the three that have impressed me since I've been here, and I'm pleased they've come back, because they have improved the quality of the squad, if you like. Now, I know they've had the odd game here and there, but they've certainly improved the quality of the squad, and really that's probably why 3 went, to allow me to bring those 3 to get involved.
Thank you, good luck.
Gary, have you had a conversation to say to players, go out and make yourself a hero, somebody to stick their hands up and make the difference?
Yeah, they've all got to step up to the plate, because they all done that against Cambridge. They didn't do it against Northampton, I didn't feel. There wasn't really anyone that you thought was giving it a right go, maybe many in the first half. But we gradually got less effective, and more of them have got to be more effective. I tell you what does it as well, everybody mentions it, but it's so true, is that the fans against Cambridge were different class at home, because it was all our fans. I think the fans made a difference. They tried hard, the Cheltenham fans at Northampton, but the lads weren't giving them enough. whereas and the Northampton fans, obviously, because of the numbers, were able to get their lads going, sort of thing, you know, and we can do that at home because the Cheltenham fans did that against Cambridge, and if we can get that again, I know they've got 2,000 supporters coming, so there'll be a great atmosphere, or 1,700 or whatever it is. And what will we have, 3,000 maybe, hopefully. So it'll be a great atmosphere, and it'll be like a playoff game again. I said that these last few games have been playoff games, and we have to treat this one as it gets nearer. This is almost your semi-final or the playoffs.
Is it almost the case that the fans have got to leave nothing on the terraces, just like the players have got to leave nothing on the pitch, almost?
Well, yeah, I mean, because then if we get a result, then everybody's had a role to play, you know, and it's fantastic, like Cambridge, where the supporters and the players are of one. You know, they've supported each other. Players have give it a right go. Supporters have give it a right go, and you come out winners, and everybody feels they've played a part in the win, and that's what we want.
You mentioned you're going to be up and the other games. What sort of things have you got in place to make sure you know what's going on at Hartlepool and Tranmere?
Well, everybody's got their little jobs. You know, we'll be informed certainly at half time and then all through the second half as to what the results are somewhere else, because tactically you may have to change something, you may have to keep something, you may have, you know, there's lots of things that you've got to do, but you've got to be aware of them. And we've got to discuss them, which we would have done. We started it yesterday, because you know, I don't want to be turning around and saying, what we got to do now? You know, who's that, and what did we say we were going to do? We got to know what we're going to do, and hopefully we can just keep playing because it's going our way.
So that the plan is there for almost a last resort if it gets to that, if say Hartlepool are winning and...
Yeah, the plan's there for the scenarios, yeah. I mean, again at Northampton we was unlucky that Kane didn't particularly start well, so we had to make a substitution there. And then Matty Taylor come off. So there wasn't a lot you could do in those situations when you've had to make sort of substitutions for tactical reasons with one of them, but with an injury for the other. But you'd rather leave your tactical substitutions till the last 20 minutes as opposed to making them in the first 20 minutes.
Excellent.